Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us, that helps the bands, like today's band, Thus Love. Also, check
Hey,
out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR. Outfitters.com. Don't just wear RAR. So, Echo and Louie, how are you boys doing tonight?
doing well.
We're
It is
doing.
great to have you guys on. As we talked earlier, this has been a long time coming. I saw these guys at South by this year back in March, and I reached out to their management, which Catherine was amazing through this whole process. And finally, in October, we are having this happen. So thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate it greatly.
Absolute pleasure.
So we
Pleasure is all
have
ours. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a new album coming out this week. You have to be excited, through the roof, all of those adjectives. But tell me how both of you are feeling about the album coming out this week.
Oh, stoked. Yeah. Like there's been enough time in between it being done and now we're so close to the release. There's so much waiting that's involved uh in this game. Just part of it. We'll have our own artistic biases towards our own art, but at this point it's like ready to, I'm like, great, yep, let's go.
Yeah, totally.
Do it.
Yeah, it's nice to finally let it go. I was thinking this morning actually. I was trying to like reconnect with the feeling that we had when we came out with our first record, and it's like an incredible what's the word? Uh it's like an achievement that it's a very like specific type of achievement. I think it's like one that like you share. It's just like a shared experience between a group of people. And that feels really nice.
It's kind of a timestamp of where you all are, like, emotionally, feeling. Is that kind of fair to say?
Well,
Is that fair
I didn't catch
to—
that.
Oh,
I
I'm
For some
think
sorry.
your
reason, the volume
sound
cut out.
stopped.
Is my sound? Oh, hold on.
Oh, you're back on now. Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear
good.
you.
Back
Okay.
on.
My bad. No, what I
No
asked was,
worries.
yeah, so do you feel like when I say this statement, up until the album is released, the songs are yours, but then they become,
Right.
theirs, like what, like your fans. How do you
Other
react
people's.
to that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. It's very much true, and that's part of the role as an entertainer, right? You're like you're doing things for other people and other people's sake, and that's cool. But like drawing the distinctions between like certain facets of this lifestyle and like what is for what, and um yeah, like I really don't want to make music that is for the sake of the listeners solely, right?
Yep.
But I'm always down for like people to have their own relationship with that, completely theirs. There's nothing to do with us
Right.
at a
Yeah,
certain point. Yeah.
yeah. I think you said that absolutely fucking perfectly. Yeah, that's like exactly it. Yeah,
Right.
like
It's like what other people think of you is none of your business. And so therefore like when people listen to your music, that's just like completely their own experience. Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, they're gonna like pour themselves into it in like a million different ways, and I think that's awesome. just like we do with like bands that we like.
Yeah. So let's talk about your hometown or somewhat your hometown, Brattleboro, Vermont. If you're a travel agent or if you're a real estate agent, sell me on what's great about this town and what's great about your state of Vermont.
No billboards for
Yeah.
starters.
Yeah. When you're driving down the highway, like you're not advertised with like 1-800 divorce.
Took that shit for granted my whole childhood. Not
Yeah.
anymore. I cherish it. Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in the South. I was born and raised in Florida, and I moved to Vermont when I was like 10. And that was like the first thing I noticed, and like I think about that like every time I drive. Like every time we drive up north too, I'm like, or just like north in the state because we're south. I'm just like, damn, this is so beautiful. This is so perfect. There's no distractions. I'm not being advertised to in any way. I'm just living. I'm living my life.
And you don't mind the winters then?
No, I do not mind the winters. The only thing that really bothers me is like the um it just gets dark so early. Like it gets dark by like 4. We don't really have a lot of daylight in the wintertime, which is about
I'm gonna interject and call bullshit on Lou. Lou hates winter.
yeah.
Lou is such a Vermonter, but is such a Tropicana fruit cup in his heart. And if he could, he would sunbathe with a
Yeah.
marblite hanging out of his mouth
Oh
on
yeah.
the beach.
Which is what I do
No,
all
but
summer long.
Lou's right. Like the worst part of it is the time. But, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, the worst part of it is, yeah, the short days. That'll get to you.
Yeah, that would get to anybody. Absolutely.
Good time to make a record though. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a great time to make a record.
Or you're gonna be fucking
That's what
inside
we've
all the
done.
time anyways.
That's what we've
Just be
done
in the
the last
studio.
2, and it's been working out so well.
Yeah, well, once you kind of find a process that works, you want to kind of stick with that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, with like making
Yeah.
slight
I
alterations, you know.
I think it's so important to have a task in the wintertime or like a nice project so you don't go fucking crazy.
And for this year and for this year coming up, you've got a very extensive tour that's going to basically take you through the entire winter. I mean, talk about the itinerary, talk about like new places that you're going to with this tour.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Excited for Chicago again. That'll be nice. Uh, we're hitting the West Coast for the first time as a band. That's really exciting.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, see the redwood trees. That's gonna be really nice. Shit, desert. We're kind of really gonna see all the landscapes, which is exactly the one previous time that I've been to these places, not on short stint tours. It was a very quick trip, just like kind of all around in a big circle around the continental U.S. and that was sweet. Stoked to do it again.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
What about for you, Louis?
Yeah, really excited to go to California. Um, I'm really excited to see the desert. That's gonna be really cool. Um, yeah, definitely excited for the warmer places. I think that'll be nice to like get out of Vermont for a bit. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna experience like every temperature. Like it's gonna be so cold for half of it, and then it's gonna be so nice for the other half.
Truth.
Gonna be lovely.
So mode of transportation, what are we riding in, man?
We're
Oh,
we're
man.
renting a Ford Transit Sprinter style van
Yeah.
with a locking cage rear and two bench row seats.
It's living the
And
high life,
yeah, that's what we're
boys.
rocking with.
Living the high life.
Living the high life. I know. Yeah, we used to have an Econoline.
Yeah, and it died on our last tour.
Yes. Good. So now
Appropriate,
instead
right?
of like taking probably what would have been close to a profit on this tour, we're spending the difference on a rental.
Yeah.
So I'm just making it happen, which, I'd much rather do that and be safe than fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
We did that for a while. Our van was skeptically sketchy.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the rental company is like if your van breaks down, they give you a new one. So that's pretty cool.
It's not a bad gig, especially if you're in the middle of Colorado and it's 3 in the morning.
Exactly. Totally.
So I'm sure you both have a horror story from on the road, whether it's the last tour, whether it was the first tour. Give it to me.
Oh man, I'll take this one. uh I on our tour, not this past tour, but our tour last year, um I like I crowd surfed and I broke my shoulder. I like separated my shoulder like while we were on tour. And I had to fly home and have surgery. Um and I was like out of the game for like 8 months.
And as a musician, that is like your worst fear, right? I mean,
As a drummer, that is your worst fear.
how about
Also,
you,
I'm
Echo?
sorry my lighting is so messed up. I'm like trying to make this work. I'm so sorry. I'm literally a mess tonight. I'm so sorry. You're literally catching me at the worst time.
You're good. You're
It's
good.
fine, man. The conversation is
Okay,
all that
great.
matters. Nobody cares about what
Great.
you look
No,
like.
totally, totally, totally.
What about you, Echo?
To be honest, I forgot the question.
What
I was
your
like,
More horror stories.
right,
yeah.
the horror stories. Yes. Yeah, I mean, of course that. Uh, I do have a visceral memory of like that night. I was also on a date, and so me and this date and our road dog and our bandmate Nathaniel all piled in the van to go to the Texan urgent
Echo
care.
brought the date to the hospital. That's so awesome.
To the hospital while this is going down, and we just sat in the back and ate Swedish fish until Lou came out. It was good. It was chill. It was, yeah. I mean, no, it was not chill. It was, yeah, fucked. But
It was honestly like
we were fine in the van.
it was
We
like
were fine.
the most like rock and roll thing. It was like
Yeah.
our best friend and like Rhodey was like driving and like navigating and like Nathaniel's looking up all the hospitals in the area. I'm writhing in pain. Echo is with the date in the back seat. It's like
His shoulder,
it's
his
hilarious.
shoulder dropped like a full 6 inches.
It was gnarly. My like collarbone was like
Fuck.
sticking out of my. It was so fucked up.
They had a robot arm tack that shit back onto his collarbone.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Blech.
Damn, that's a
Yeah,
story
they don't
you'll
have
tell your
surgeons anymore.
grandkids.
It's only robots.
So speaking of Swedish fish, I guess when you go to Texas, you can go to Buc-ee's, right? Have you been to a Buc-ee's yet?
Oh yes, we.
Oh, I have a Buc-ee's horror story. Okay, so we went to Buc-ee's and I waited in line for like half an hour for these homemade potato chips, right? Because that's what you get there. And then I get back to the van and I spill them all over the van and I can't eat any of them.
Crushing.
Horrible.
That's crushing.
It was such a loss. we all cried.
Yeah.
That was fucked. Yeah, we did the math on the pumps. 100. It was like 100 even pumps,
Yeah.
gas pumps. It was great.
That's America.
Yup.
It's scary.
Sure is.
Like You don't need that.
No,
You don't need that.
you don't.
So let's talk about your South by experience. Was this year your
Yeah, yeah.
first time doing South by?
Previous year was we have done it twice in a row. Doubt we'll do it again
Yeah, fair enough.
soon. Soon, just kind of like did that. Moving on.
Yeah. What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you love about Austin? What didn't you like about Austin?
Hated the cops. The like police presence was really intense, and just like driving around in a shitty van full of weed. Like you're just like, a little tense, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably the thorn of Austin, I'd say. Um, Lazarus Brewing, shout out Lazarus Brewing. That's always a good time outside
Shout out
gig.
Orlando. He's the booker there.
Orlando,
He's awesome.
yes, yeah,
And where are we playing in
Yeah.
Austin on this tour then? Or are we not doing Austin?
We are doing Austin. We're playing at Mohawk.
yep. We also played. That was a good show. Sounded good.
Hmm.
I didn't know. Is there an inside venue there?
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
you remember. That's where we saw Mail.
Oh, yeah. The
Yeah.
year prior, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
like
remember.
tiered, right? Like it's like levels of like viewing for like at Mohawk, correct?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We saw you at the 13th floor. You blew us away.
As I recall, my voice was blown as well.
Wow.
I remember
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, I was struggling to sing that night.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Over the mic, yeah. I guess I like to keep things honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the crowd was into you and we were into you that night. That definitely.
Hey
So
everyone, listen, before I start the show, I have dysentery. I need you to know. Damn it.
he's on the Oregon Trail of life. So
Uh,
let's talk about the inspiration for the album cover for the new album. It's called All Pleasure. It comes out, like I said, November 1st, 10 songs. But what was the inspiration for the album cover?
I feel like two parts with this one, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lou, but uh first one being like visual, and that uh was like car album covers, right? We were like discussing, the great ones. There's only a few in my subconscious that like mean a lot to me, being like Kendrick, Beck, um listening to them. But yeah, so like classic car theme, but we thought it'd be sick if it was like rural, right? Which I really liked the new Post Malone cover. Kind of like hits on like a hick nerve, which I appreciate. But and then on the other hand, we just like I really wanted to be writing driving music, or I thought that like these songs were like really good. Like music is driver. It's like not. We don't make music that like people put on at parties. You know what I mean? Like it's not like party music, or if it is, it's like a pretty niche moment or group of people. But I feel like people will really like our music while driving, right? Like they're like, oh yeah, I love this band in an intimate capacity with their stereo system. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Louis? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know we were super inspired by the Kendrick album cover, the Good Kid, Mad City, and the Black Keys, and just having like that rural twist on it. I think like Echo said that well. Yeah.
You're talking about
Also,
El
just
Camino,
like
right?
our van died like on our last tour, and like that that van we've had forever. Like that was like our home away from home. We spent so much time in that van, so just like having that, it's like goodbye van. Like thanks.
Yeah, it kind of marked like a what do you call that? Like a chapter, I guess, in your band's career. And
Yeah, absolutely.
you're
Which is interesting because like an album can be so many different things, like chronologically. It can be a milestone, it can be like an anthology of like the previous year or X amount of time, but it is promoted like in time following as well. So
Hmm.
it's interesting. It means a lot. There's a lot there, but also just feels kind of like a cathartic vomit. And then we like make the graphic design all right. And we're like, ooh, look.
So, what is your favorite song off this upcoming album for each of you?
Lou.
Yeah, either House on a Hill, which you already talked about. I love that song. And um Show Me Patience is another really good one. I think people might be a little bit surprised by that one, you know. It's very I think it's very slow and very beautiful. Um yeah. Echo, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say Get Stable's my favorite song. That was been my favorite for a while. It's really just like straightforward. I mean, a lot of our songs are really straightforward, but I mean, it's straightforward in an attitude kind of way. And it's also playful. Bitch and solo. What can't you like? You know, what can't you like?
There's something for everybody in that song, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. There's like maybe some edge to it where it's like, oh, whoa, they're really trying to say something there, but it's like no, it's like really just like so just it's just like a fun little song, right?
So,
Yeah.
how did Matt and Rich and Bob kind of bring these songs like out, for you? Like how did they make them better, or how did they, put their twist and take on each of them?
Well, Matt is just Matt is like we have a much closer relationship with Matt. Matt worked with us on the first record, and he definitely like acted as like a very necessary like liaison of our sound from him to Rich, and like obviously they work together on it as well. But yeah, Matt is a gem. Matt really knows like I don't know. We have like a good conceptual kind of like mindset with each other. We're just we kind of have like the same like goal in creativity, and also just kind of like in a studio space, like we work comfortably together. Now he's a very busy guy at that studio that he works at, which is really sweet, and we've gotten the pleasure to record there a few times. And Rich sometimes works out of there, but I think he has another space that he does most of his stuff in Vermont. But so Matt really brought a like essential crispiness, I think, and just kind of like bringing it to the level of Memorial, and then being like, okay, what else are we doing? And also, obviously, there was like pre-game changes. We didn't like try to record it like Memorial, so obviously there were a lot of differences just in the tracks alone. But um, I don't know. What would you say, Lou? I feel like Rich really brought like a next level low end to it. Like I really feel like Rich brought some serious girth to the singles.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
think what really stood out to me about the Rich mixes were the vocals. Um,
Yeah.
like I'm a really big Muse fan. I know Rich has worked with them a lot.
That's
And
awesome.
I noticed like like it just sound like it like some of the songs just sounded so similar not like the song, sorry, but like the like vocal effect. There's one song in particular that he mixed of ours. It's called All Pleasure. It's the title track. Like the like effect he added on like Ali's vocal part. I was like, whoa, that sounds like a Muse song. Like that's really cool. Um, yeah. What else can I say about that? Yeah, I mean, like I think it was just like really surreal how that all came together. I mean, like I've only met Rich once, and it was really, really brief. He's a sweetheart.
But at the same time, we live very close to each other. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just like silly, but yeah,
Mhm.
he did a great job.
Mhm.
He did a great job, which is like so demeaning to even say as a phrase to like a professional, right? It's like, like of course he did a great job. Everybody
Yeah.
did a great job. Yeah, and Bob, like that just made it feel like a fucking album, you know?
Mhm.
Like instead of like a collection of songs that were like, is the mix right? You know? It's
Mhm.
like we had. Sorry, I know you can't see my face right now, but um, yeah. I don't know. It was also just wild, like working with Bob, like right around the time that Steve Albini died too. It was like
Right.
we hadn't even gotten the final masters back
Mhm.
before that had happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For whatever that's, I'm sure he wasn't thinking about us, but that's not what I mean to say. But like, I'm sure that it was, he has a means of compartmentalizing work. But I was just like, damn, fuck, sorry, you have to mix my fucking album while you're probably like grieving a friend
Yeah.
or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, Echo, you're doing your best Maynard from Tool.
Yeah, right,
You
right,
know that story,
exactly.
right?
Remind me.
So during most of Tool's performances, any live performance, he will like be at the back of the stage behind the drummer and not face the crowd
That's
and
awesome.
sing that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's very unique.
It is.
So, Louis, you said Muse. I've been a huge Muse fan since Absolution.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the album that Rich worked on. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. So I can hear what you're talking about. I'm going to translate it to like some of the songs feel like arena ready. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
I
totally.
totally know what you mean. Like at least in like the production,
Correct.
absolutely, it has that feeling, that spaciousness.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. It's dynamic. It's has that musical spacing, but then it also has, there's moments too where you have that wall of sound, either lyrically or like musically. It is,
Mhm.
yeah, I
Sure.
hear that at
Thank
depth.
you.
So definitely.
Hell yeah.
So, so let's talk about then. I want to talk about in particular the On the Floor video because that's one of the singles you released, On the Floor and Birthday Song as uh, pre-releases, right, off this album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the on the floor video, the construction equipment, I think, is a wonderful, um, I guess not addition, but part of the video. Talk about that inspiration for the construction equipment.
Well, we were just going on like this utilitarian vibe, right? Like, and the great thing about working with our friends Benny and Augie, Benny's from this area, grew up in Putney, and has like they have a lot of the connections, um, for all the like resources that we just like accumulated into the video. The excavator specifically was, there's this family, the Harlows, and they're kind of like notorious like rig runners of the area. And there was one parked in a field not far from Benny's parents' house, and we just asked, you know, ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something really special about like living in a place where like there's really nothing going on. That like when something as crazy as this happens, like people are like, "Oh yeah, like absolutely. That's awesome." Um, people like, I feel like
You say
they're
it's a
like,
music video, and they're stoked
yeah,
to do it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They just, they like want something to happen.
We were like overthinking a lot of the permission, and like, oh, are they gonna like think this is weird? And every single time, like we were doing this shot of me. I think it's very brief in the video, but I'm like outside of this spot called the Dairy Joy, and it's like an ice cream burger joint,
Hmm.
kind of like drive up spot, and I'm like holding reeds, and there's like a truck in the background, and we asked the counter people like if we could do it, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then like everyone in the parking lot wanted to be involved, and there's like this gaggle of like youths, and this young lad fresh off the baseball field in uniform with like a cherry red like 80s Ford truck. And we were like, do you want to be in our music video? He was like, yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, people are just stoked to do it. Yeah, I was hanging from that excavator with no safety whatsoever, 10 feet foot to ground. But so worth it, so fun. Didn't break anything.
And it was shot really
Okay.
well too. Like they captured
Yeah.
it really nicely.
Yeah, they got it. They got it. Took a couple takes. I was like, fucking arms day for sure. But
Mhm.
Well, to your point though, I think, people at their heart, humans, we want to be a part of something. And like
yeah,
when you offer them something like that, like of course they're going to say yes. And I think also like when you hear a lot of like indie bands and bands that are unsigned and are just, going on 2 week tours where they have not enough money to stay at a hotel, like their fans will let them stay at their own houses, like
totally.
it's that same, like
Yeah,
they want to be part of the process, like is that you kind of
for
jive with
sure.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and especially in a really rural area. Like, people don't make music videos frequently in Brattleboro, let alone Bellows Falls, where the Dairy Joy is, which is a slightly deeper into the vortex that is Vermont. But
Right.
yeah.
Well,
The
and then
Dairy Joy is awesome.
yeah, then you got when you guys are all standing on that sea of cars, but you all pick like a specific car. Is that because of like the same kind of connections then, or same, was that the same excavator owner?
The Porsche at the beginning is was a familial connection as well. The junkyard is a junkyard in Keene, New Hampshire, half an hour away from Brattleboro. Um, and that was just like a call, see if they were down. They were so stoked, and it's so sweet. The guy, Fred Senior, uh, who runs the junkyard, they like checked in when we first arrived, and then they just like left. But as he was leaving, he was like, "This is awesome. You're doing this. Like, don't stop. Just keep going, man." It was like so sweet. Like, yeah, like that shit never happens. Like, he doesn't have like a bunch of 20 somethings being like, "Can we film something? We'll be respectful of your space." That's the other thing, is that we're all like unapologetically like nice to a sappy degree, right? So it's like either you're a fucking asshole or you're like, oh, this is adorable. They're doing something cute. Like, you know,
Yeah, adorable, I think is the right word.
yeah, yeah, it's part of our approachability, part of our charm.
Yeah.
We're like fuzzy little rodents.
Yeah.
And then what's up with the teeth?
The teeth, oh, I don't know. Just like visceral, right? Just like a surreal visual.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Benny just kind of like, yeah, I feel like they have a lot of like crazy ideas,
That's just kind of like
all
pop,
like rapid fire, and they're
as it
literally just
happens.
like, what if we did this? What if this happened? And then this
Yeah.
happened. Um, yeah, that it was like activated charcoal pills that we would chew and then like smear all over our teeth.
Okay. That tasted nasty, right?
Didn't taste like anything,
It
honestly.
didn't taste like anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So Louis, you spoke on the House of the Hill song. I talked about this with you guys before, but I think my favorite lyric, it might be on the entire album, but definitely on House on the Hill. Anything for convenience, anything for the gram, no room for masturbation. Wish I had a third hand. Talk to me about where you were that night or that day when you wrote those lyrics.
Well, the time we were living in a house all together, post recording Memorial, we had done that in like a downtown apartment, and we had moved out to this house during our first year of kind of like touring the record. Um, and yeah, it was just like close proximity. It was still kind of COVID. Um, I was walking up the hill behind the house that kind of it intersects with the campus of a like international learning center, kind of. Um, and I don't know. At the time, we were just like listening to a lot of Angular stuff, a lot of Angular riffage, and I think it was just like off the dome, just kind of like uh yeah, like pen on paper moment, just kind of comes out of you.
Mhm.
um
Are, are you typically music first and then lyrics, or are you typically lyrics first and then music when you write?
Not necessarily. I mean, oftentimes like Lou will bring a riff and then I'll like write lyrics on top of it, or like, you know, our new members, right? Like bringing forth ideas and I'll write on top of that. But um yeah, frequently when I'm writing something, there's like, kind of the root of the song, the like, fundamental concept, and then I'm working within the meter of that rhythm of that section idea that I have. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so in this age of Spotify and streaming and, playing that game, is it important to you to release albums, or does it really not matter to you and you'd be fine with just releasing singles?
I mean, it was definitely a goal for so long. We definitely want to do it, right? We have this opportunity. I've never had the thought like, oh, maybe like like maybe I don't want to make an album. I've only ever had the thought of like, oh, I don't want to play a gig, or oh, I don't want to go on a tour, or like, oh, that that sounds like whatever, like, or a specific show, or whatever. But no, I releasing music is great. It's been a strange ride. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
How do you feel about it?
it's been like an important practice of like learning to let go of something and not like holding on too tightly. Think like you try to work on something for like a really long time, it either like fizzles out, it doesn't happen, or it just like gets worse or something. Um, but no, I think it's just like yeah, we made the thing, let's put it out, let's move on.
So how many songs did we bring into these sessions before we whittled down to 10, or did we come in with 10?
I think it was 14.
Yeah, Baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Okay. So the birthday song video, I told you guys before we recorded, I really kind of feel like there's like an Arctic Monkeys vibe to that song. And I want to know who the guy on the horse is in the video, because he looks like you'd want to have a beer with that guy.
That's our friend Nick's. Um, they are a Putney School graduate. It's a liberal arts high school that is in Putney that Benny went to. So Benny, as an alumni of that institution, got in touch with the livestock person there. There's like a barn, livestock, horses, etc. And yeah, asked if there's anyone who would be down to ride a horse in the music video. And Nick's agreed. Yeah, so we met this person on a horse, or I met this person on a horse because everyone else had to work that day, and so
Mhm.
me, Benny, and Augie, and the staff at the school, and this person on a horse had a great time filming. Yeah,
So we all
Andy is the horse's name, by the way.
Andy the horse.
Yes.
Okay.
The horse's name is Andy.
Yes,
I totally forgot about that.
See,
Which
kind
is
of a
the
unique
name
name for
of
him.
Shane's dad, also.
yes. Shout
So
out Andy.
so do we have full-time jobs then, or is this our full-time job?
Oh fuck no, man! Wish that were the case. Yeah, talk to us in like 15 years. uh, We do all have jobs.
Yeah.
Lou works at this really sick pub called Kipling's.
It's awesome. I wash dishes there. I cook
Um,
there sometimes.
it's tight. Good burgers. I just landed a new job. We've all been working in restaurants forever, but I just landed a new job making pickles, working for a pickle company that specializes in locally sourced ingredients. It's really cool. Yeah, started yesterday. It's going well.
Echo left a bunch of garlic in my car today.
Oh, that's where I left it. Bummer. Black garlic
Yeah.
specifically, not just garlic.
So you can't drive the car for a week. I mean, that's a good segue. I mean, like, let's have a real conversation about like the financial aspect of being a band in 2024. I mean,
It's rough, man. Like streaming doesn't mean shit, right? Uh, People don't buy records like it's a, consumer product anymore. Um, and it's pretty ludicrous to think in any era of music that this is a good idea for like financial stability. But like the thing is, what we all have in common, new members included, is that like we can't imagine ourselves doing anything else for the rest of our lives.
hmm
We're all like, this is like an active battle against the visual of doing something that like we don't want to do, right? And like, you know, we're young, but still, I don't know. My father was a laborer. I don't want to do that shit. There's a time like even this year where I was like, I guess it's time to bite the bullet and like really really like get a blue collar job. And like the thing is like we have, right? Like we've been working in the restaurant industry for 10 years.
I worked in a factory for 4 years when this band started.
Dude, that shit was brutal.
I was working like a full-time job when this band started. 50
Yeah.
hours a week. Wake up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Go to
Clock
work,
out at like 2 p.m.
go home, eat some food, go to band practice,
Yeah, I would go home,
get home
take
at
a
10
nap,
p.m,
and then
11 p.m.
go to fucking. I would go to practice at like 8 at night.
so do you guys all live within like a half hour of each other, or does anybody live far away?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, at this point we're all like 15 minutes.
hmm
so then how
Yeah.
often are we practicing a week now leading up to the tour?
Um, Not that much, actually. No, we practice, but there is this really strange magical thing that happens when you don't play, and then you come together and play in rapid succession. The like once a week thing works, and that's basically like what we do, just kind of by default. We like meet on the weekends, and then like gets a little busier. We'll throw two in there. And then if we're like pre-gaming, we'll do like several, kind of like intensive rehearsals all in one go. Just kind of like whip you into shape.
And
Yeah.
how much are set lists important to you? Do you put a lot of time and effort into that or not really?
We do. I feel like we're doing that more, especially now that we're playing like a wider range of stages. We're playing bigger
Mhm.
stages, we're playing festivals, we're starting to really like understand like what groups of people are at what shows. Um, yeah.
How about you, Louis?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting the difference between like our headline shows, like a festival slot. Um, I really love playing for longer. I feel like then we can really like get creative
Mhm.
in that
Yeah.
way. We
Yeah,
can
like
just
hour
play.
sets are way easier to write than like half hour sets.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's hard to like just pick the like 5 songs that we want to play. especially when we're trying to like showcase the new stuff and also try to balance the like old stuff in there too.
So on this tour,
Right. Right.
yeah, on this tour upcoming, then how do you balance then, the new stuff with the old stuff?
We play the hits only.
Yeah.
And like that's something that I think like I imagine people who really love our band kind of see us as this like holistic experience. Or no, that sounds granola, but like they're watching like in our set they're seeing like the full array of like our stylings, right? And yeah, I think we have like different songs that speak to different people, and it's cool, and then they can like hear like a wide range of that. Yeah.
So what was your favorite festival gig and what was your favorite concert that you guys played this year so far?
You want to take that one, Echo? I know you have
Yeah,
a
End of the
favorite.
Road Festival, our last gig on the last English tour. That was sweet. It's a really sizable festival, but the what it feels like in contrast to other festivals that we've played is it really felt like a music driven experience. Like there's a lot of other festivals that feel like a carnival or like it's an experience for like you know college kids and they're like getting fucked up, but like this is it's kind of like a family vibe. Like there was like a little playgrounds, there was like all these fucking stages and food and then like a few other like random like clothing vendors, but that's kind of it. And like yeah, it was just like a little bit more wholesome, and it was way out in the middle of nowhere, which I appreciated.
Hmm.
And I'd say our best club date was definitely London. Yeah, and just like getting into it was a short tour, like 7 gigs is not a heck of a lot, right? That's how many we played, Lou.
Yeah, yeah,
10
7, I think.
days of travel,
Seven
seven
or
seven
eight, yeah.
shows, 7 or 8. Yeah, but that one was like the third of the club dates. We were like really full in there. I think we had like 2 shows left after that. Um, it's like a lot of magic happened, and like you know when you play that many shows, you really have to have like a modus operandi, like before, after, during, like the whole routine of everything. Like it can just kind of like trample you if you're not like being present for everything, even the like grueling parts. Um, so I don't know, that show I feel like really embraced, like at least for me, like embraced the pregame of it and ended up just like playing a really, really good show. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and it was definitely our widest audience. It was like that was our first club date where I felt like really it was like total mix of people
Hmm. Yeah, I think that was the most amount of people we've ever played to, also.
out there, like just for us headline. Yeah, totally.
That's a
Yeah,
great
it's cool.
feeling, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah. So this tour that you're going to be upcoming doing, this is your longest tour that you're going to be off like from home, correct?
We've done 7 weeks at a time, and this will
Okay.
be kind of like 2 back to back almost. Like we have a 3 week break in between the US and Europe.
Yeah, we have 2 weeks in
Two
between.
weeks, yeah. But like those together, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So mentally, physically, how do you, look at, individually, how do you kind of prepare for that?
Well, laundry for starters.
I was just gonna say that.
A lot of
We finish each
outfits.
other's salads.
That's a lot of
Uh,
outfits, right?
yeah, I mean, oh man, how do we prepare?
I think thinking
Practice,
backing. Oh, sorry. You go.
rehearsal for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Yeah, just
Like
like
thinking back
getting
to
like the
past
routine
tours.
down, I think, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Like thinking back to like what didn't work, what did work. Bit of a plan that. Like I was kind of like keep a list throughout a tour of like things that I didn't bring that I thought of that would be like really tight to have. So, and then,
Yeah.
you know, on the next one, I bring those things, and I think of more things that'd be great, and like things that were useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I
I think one
don't
of the
need two
biggest
pairs of the same pants. I should just bring different pants. Another thing is that I should bring a second pair of shoes. I wore, I can show you. I wore these like Crocs right here
Oh my
the
God.
whole the whole time, every moment in these fucking shoes. You know, I'm like, I'm not switching. I don't have like I should have my stage shoes, my like walking around shoes, my chill shoes, but no, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, that's yeah. There's like a fancy schmancy like live video of like the London show that, you know, was like made for us because it's like a big deal or whatever, and it's awesome and like yeah. It's an amazing, amazing video. Like it's the most like professional fucking footage like we've ever had made. And
And then
fucking
you just
Echo's
see,
like wearing the shower sandals,
and
like
then you see
video,
my foot in the
just
frame, and
like
it's
stomping on the
fucking
pedal.
Croc.
Is this released to the
Uh,
public,
No,
this
it's
video?
so awesome. It's so awesome.
it will be, yeah. We've
Okay.
been using like it as promotional clips, but those will go up
It's been
closer
on
to the album.
YouTube. It's
Oh,
out.
it's on YouTube. Okay,
It's been out for like
it's out.
a month.
Okay, cool. I'll have to watch that. Definitely, definitely. That's cool. So when you guys first went to Europe, like obviously there has to be a little trepidation, right? I mean, like especially too as you spoke, like both being weed smokers, like that's not really kind of kosher in all those countries. Like how did you kind of like navigate that?
Gummies is how we navigate that.
Fair enough.
Dare I say more?
Listen, you always find a way. Always.
Yeah, we were in Romania one time, and like we found the one British person, and we smoked weed
Yep.
at like one
Shout out
o'clock in the morning.
George.
And in Romania, that is a federal offense. That is a class A1 narcotic
Okay.
in Romania. Yeah, it's crazy. I found that out the same moment that I was doing it. You know.
It's
No,
like
that's
that.
not true. That's not actually true. I knew that it was, but
It's like, did you hear about those American, I think it was last year, there was like three or four Americans over the holidays that went to Turks and Caicos and accidentally, I guess, had a gun like with them.
oh
And
Jesus,
in Turks and Caicos, it is like a mandatory 7-year prison sentence
Oh,
just for
Jesus.
carrying a gun.
Oh no, I forgot to leave my gun at home. Bummer.
So
Sucks.
like, bye, honey. I'll see you in 7 years.
Jesus Christ.
fuck.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, each country, yeah, like you said, like you kind of have to
Yeah,
know, like you're going there, you have to know what their rules are. It's not, doesn't really, they don't care what your rules are.
no, totally. And I mean, you know, even some places like I'm not thinking about weed. I'm thinking about like that we're queer people. You know, like I'm non-binary, loose trans. Like that's not like you know, totally accepted in some places, illegal in others. And you know, definitely like, you know, it's just something to think about. It's really wild to be put into these situations where things can be dangerous, right? Like Vermont is a very like safe place for white people, you know? So
Well, for any people, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right. For the most part. And yeah, going to like places where it's like, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna, yeah, I don't know everything about this place. Like I really am in a totally different pocket of the world.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
So,
wild.
Louis, when did you start playing guitar then?
Um, I started playing guitar I think when I was like 10 or 11. Um, then I started playing drums like 6 years ago, maybe. So like not that long.
Okay. So, do you prefer playing drums or does it not really matter to you?
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, um, I play drums in the band. Um, uh, uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I just don't think I can choose. I mean, like everything, I love both. Like I think I love everything that I know.
I mean, like a big part
I
of it
love
was
every
circumstance,
instrument that
right?
I
Like at the
like.
time that Lou learned the drums, we needed a drummer, and
It
it's
was
like,
it was
oh, someone's got
mostly
to do
out of
this, like,
necessity. Yeah,
totally. Right. And then those are like the roles that we flourished in shaping Thus Love. And like, I wasn't always a guitar player in the capacity that I am. In fact, that I was a drummer to like a greater degree than, but long before I was a guitar player in the capacity that I am now. But yeah, circumstance, like I play guitar in the band because it like needed to. Like there was a very brief period where I was just singing that maybe be on the horizon, for the future of our lineup. But like, yeah, right now we're playing the instruments. I really daydream about playing bass or drums or literally anything else in a band, as I'm sure you do too, Lou. But
yeah,
um,
for sure, and I think that's like totally healthy and normal. Like I think it's kind of nice to like admire the other people in your band for that like same reason. You know what I mean? You're just like
yeah,
looking at them and thinking like, oh man, like I wonder what it's like to be up there. I wonder what it's like to do that.
yeah,
Well, I don't know if you guys are doing it, but I have a great idea for this tour coming up. You guys should cover like a song that has like a really awesome guitar solo. And you guys should switch instruments for that song. Because if the crowd saw Louis play like a sick guitar solo and it's the
Yeah,
drummer, like their minds will be blown. Like, trust me,
you're
because
so right.
one of my favorite bands, Andy Frasco and the UN, I don't know if you're familiar with them, all five of the members can play each other's instruments. And that's one,
that's like some Chris Angel mind freak shit.
yes. But I
That's
mean,
crazy.
if
I'm
you
like a
guys did that,
magician.
yeah, I mean, even if you did like one of your songs that has like a really great guitar solo, fucking switch it up and let Echo, you do the drums for that song and Louis play like guitar.
Great
Move the
idea.
heck over, Echo. Get out of there.
Done. That's all you, baby.
Done.
Do you have a song in mind of yours that you could that you think that could work?
We'd have to think about it, but probably any. They're
uh,
all easy.
we're covering the Red Hot Chili Peppers right now.
Oh, that's true. We do an annual Halloween cover band show here in Brattleboro, and this year, Thus Love is doing the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, awesome.
And what other bands have we done in the past?
We did Fuzz, Black Sabbath,
David Bowie.
Ramones. Yeah,
Okay,
David
that's
Bowie.
cool. And where do you play where's this venue at that you do it at?
We're doing it at Pierce's Hall this year. It's like a town grange in East Putney. It's like a pretty rural location, but it's perfect.
It's perfect. That's where we had it last year too. It was just like it was awesome.
It fucked.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was. I think the full moon was that night too. It was like it was
Yeah.
crazy. Like it was like a movie.
And so you do it on Halloween night then, or that week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So
It's a good time.
do you then how does that come together with the venue then? Is that kind of a makeshift venue or is that an actual music venue?
It's a makeshift venue. We generally do it in like different spots, but it's like a group of people will put it on and then we'll like kind of outsource the location for it.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Sweet. Well, guys, This has been awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this interview as much as I have.
Oh, fuck
Um,
yeah.
all the love, all the best of luck for this album. Again, ladies and gentlemen, all pleasure. It's 10 songs. It comes out this week, November 1st. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, you know, proper footwear, tour essential, and stay saucy.
Absolutely. Free Palestine.
Free
Thank you so much
Palestine.
for having us.
True.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
And eat gummies in
honored.
Europe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gummies are the travel hack. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands like Louis and Echo's band, Thus Love. Check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. And as always, ladies and
That's right.
gentlemen, I've been Dog. You've been great. This is the Music Lab podcast.